There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Alegria. Is this a 3-hour episode? What? Suze, good morning to you. I thought you had packing to do. Surely you don't want to be sat in front of your telly for 3 hours. Oh, talking of which, I think I've got some lovely pictures from you. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. The sound, I just couldn't find the sound. I think Microsoft want to do updates and all sorts of things. And just very occasionally, there's a ghost in the machine. And that's what happened this morning. So a couple of minutes late because of that. Fabulous pictures, Suze. These are yours, aren't they? I get confused. Oh, hold on a minute. You can hear that I'm trying to load pictures up. But so this was the lovely scene from yesterday. Oh, and yes, I have got from Tech Cowboy. Where did those go to as well? These wonderful dog who's every time we come on the TV, he jumps up on the mantelpiece to try and get a little bit closer to us. But anyway, Bon dia Alegria from Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. Look, there's Doug and Doc, the British pub. They look like Doug does look like a pub landlord as well, doesn't he, to be fair? So it was Doug and Doc time yesterday, and immortalized there on Susie's packing scenario, though, or in her packing scenario. Oh, and there's Taxi's travel basket as well beneath the screen there. Fantastic. Amazing, isn't it, to see these vignettes of people's homes and the Good Morning Portugal. I never imagined this to happen 2 years ago. Look, and more packing going on there. Santa bag. Ooh, that sounds good. She's bringing us some presents over from Finland to Portugal. That's really lovely. Yeah, and imagining what might happen in 2 years' time. 2 years ago, which would be today, of course, wouldn't it? You can't get that past me. Look at that, 10,000 members. That news came in yesterday. Thanks, Jerry, for letting us know live on air yesterday. 10,000 members in our community, everybody. Isn't that amazing? Well, an incredible community of people we are, you are, and you can, of course, join. Let me just explain to you how this all works in case there's any confusion, which there can be from time to time. We have the basic level of membership, which you can take advantage of here at /community after expatsportugal.com. And there's a wonderful free forum there, which is of great help to many people. So free membership, a service to anybody who wants to come to Portugal and those people who are living here. Then if you want to get a bit more serious about moving here, and we do have some benefits for the people who've already moved here, but largely the benefits are focused on getting yourself here to Portugal. Do sign up as a premium member and you'll get loads of discounts and benefits and perks and so on. And we will do our best to introduce you to all the best people in the business who will help you get to Portugal. And then if you want to take it a stage further, the creme de la creme of our membership plans, facilitated weekly by yours truly, the Premium Plus, the Expats Portugal plan, basically, where we help you get to Portugal in a handheld way. All the steps there, and we go through them week by week, and that's what we're doing tonight. So, for example, this evening, after the webinar, we have something of an evening with Gilda Pereira from EI. So you see Gilda every Monday, don't you? You can ask questions in the chat and comment. We do everything we can to help. But tonight, in a more intimate setting, a Zoom call with Gilda and the people on the Premium Plus plan will be able to ask their personal questions in a private VIP forum tonight from 9 o'clock. Before that, of course, and as a premium member, actually, you get VIP priority access to the webinars. This one tonight with our mate Nuno Mendes from Winsurance, understanding health insurance in Portugal. Get the best advice and info from the expert tonight, Nuno, and of course that wonderful new insurance service for people applying for the D7 visa, the insurance that you need to go with the D7, medical repatriation and hospital emergency up to 30,000 euros per person, and the insured period there, incoming and welcoming. He will tell us more about that this evening. So I hope that clarifies how we can help with everything from our 10,000 strong free community that you can join right now if you haven't done so already. If not, why not? expatsportugal.com/community. So there you go. Who's in this morning at 37 minutes past the 8 on this Quinta-feira here in Portugal this morning? Live to you on the Silver Coast this morning. Well, I'm looking at it's a little bit cloudy, 13 degrees centigrade, and Microsoft agree it's mostly cloudy. Isn't it amazing how we live in this sort of half virtual, half real? I mean, what would you say is if you do a quick appraisal analysis of that, how much of your life, percentage-wise, do you? What's the split between virtual and real life for you? Spending time on computers and in the matrix and connecting up digitally. Oh, I must get my eyebrows sorted out. Should I get some painted on or tattooed on, like ladies or some ladies seem to do, so I don't have any maintenance problems of that kind? Just saw that. Thank you for pointing that out, digital world. But 72 mega million pixel whatever camera we've got here. Anyway, enough about my eyebrows. Let's talk about your eyebrows. Straight to Baldilocks. Olá a todos. I don't know why I'm laughing. Baldilocks. Olá a todos. Sure, it's some fine eyebrows behind those sunglasses there, Baldilocks, in California right now. And first in this morning, though, look at that, 7:41 this morning. That's incredible. A dedication, Bon dia, via Ericeira, Base Orbit and Suara, and I've got a picture of their dinner from last night. Yes, really. They found this wonderful place. I need to open up my email. This could cause trouble, actually, by doing this, clicking this button, but that's a beautiful dressed crab. If you like crab, you'll be thinking to yourself, yum. If you don't, that could be quite difficult for you this morning. So I'll come back to the name of that restaurant that they wanted to share with us. Oh, I've got it here now, actually. No, I don't want to. Thank you for being helpful, Microsoft. I only know you're trying to help. But as we know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions and no good deed goes unpunished. So from Base Orbit and Suara, the name of the restaurant it's a quaint and cozy beach cafe, great food and friendly service at the restaurant Alereia. I'll put that in the which is in the village of Ascenta, North Ericeira. So for those of you who in a very dedicated way write all these tips down, that's going into the chat and comments for you now. That's a long, lingering look at a crab dinner there, isn't it? And the name of the restaurant in Ericeira is now. See, there you go. There's Microsoft trying to be helpful again, telling me about what's coming up today. What's that? Oh, Good Morning Portugal show. Yes, I know I'm doing that. If you're that intelligent, artificial intelligence, you'd know I'm already doing that, and you wouldn't need to remind me. Anyway, Deagle, hope you're feeling better after the Tosh de Mista incident yesterday. Bon dia, Belfast style. He's not back in the country yet. Bon dia, Carl. We're expecting 2 weeks of stormy, rainy weather, much needed after a dry winter. We are expecting, not we were, they are expecting 2 weeks of stormy rain and weather over there in Belfast. I hope some goes lower and much needed rain falls in Portugal. Yes. And because later on this morning at around 9 o'clock, we've got Moving to Portugal special head gardener Lee McGrady. Now, he joins us on most Monday evenings, apart from the first Monday of the month when we have a meeting. The Get Out and Grow crew, the Happy Homesteaders, meet under the leadership of head gardener Lee McGrady on a Monday evening from 6:15 to talk about growing, to talk about food, creating your own food, growing a garden, a bit of happy homesteading. And he's here to talk about how he started his business. If you've got any questions about starting a business here in Portugal, and we hope to get a little bit of info from him about his own personal journey of moving to Portugal and this new business network that the men of the Man Cave have come up with. So talking about that as well. What's that on my shoulder as well? I didn't do a pre-camera check here, did I? And I've got a clashing furry blanket behind me on the chair to go with my blue polo. Oh, I noticed that this is Matt Hancock's dress of choice as well, the polo neck. It nearly put me off, I have to say. Remember him, Matt Hancock, those of you in the UK. Any road. So we've got Lee joining us later on. And the reason I was triggered to remember that is because, of course, we have 95%. What's the figure here from the Portugal News? 95% of Portugal in a severe or extreme drought at the moment, even though it is raining a little bit. and we're still in winter. So we'll talk to Lee. We'll lead him on to talking about water saving as well, because he's all about the gardening. And of course, you need to irrigate your garden, and we need to be saving water, don't we, at the moment? And I notice I've got neighbours here. There are a lot of holiday homes around me. And even while it's raining, the old sprinkler systems are still coming on at night and via some automatic system or an app, possibly. Again, artificial intelligence and this brave new world of ours, that's not very smart, and probably not very good when we're in this 95% of Portugal in a severe or extreme drought situation, folks. So double check that, if you will. If you've got a sprinkler system that... presumably they can create a sprinkler system that doesn't sprinkle when it's actually raining. I mean, must have the technology for that now, right? Good morning, Goldilocks, and everyone. I'm going to extend that to everybody else. Yes, because the OLP is asking base orbit. That's a bit familiar, isn't it? Just calling you orbit. Yeah, how is Ericeira? Any nice places to stay on our recon mission? So OLP getting some great info over these last few days about where to stay. Yeah, when they come over on their recon tour, as they say there. So Baldylocks, OLP, and Base Orbit and Swara, good morning to you. And the, look at this, morning chaps and chapettes from Prof. Eusebio. How are you doing this morning, sir? And are you in London? Is the question being asked of you. Oh, and that reminds me, of course, yes, I didn't get to that yesterday, did I? The guest, the Gumper, was, of course, Hank. Hank there in 2009. And he's there at the Dry Ice Hockey Arena in California. Yes, correctly guessed by a few of you. That is Hank. There you go. Hank and Connie, we're looking forward to seeing you back here in Portugal soon. But well guessed, everybody. And I'm not sure if I've got one ready to go yet. If you want to send a picture of yourself as a younger person, it's very difficult to send pictures of yourself as an older person, of course, isn't it? Although there are apps, again, we live in an app-based world, don't we? And there are apps for taking a look at yourself of what you might look like later on. Actually, yes, if you want to do that, if you want to send one of those app pictures of yourself in 20, 30 years' time, 100 years' time even, that's going to be quite hard to guess, I suspect. Then send it through to 913-590-303. That's the WhatsApp number. That's also the number to join the Silver Coast meetup group. And we had a wonderful meetup yesterday. Not huge, but it was perfectly formed, I have to tell you. And it was a real pleasure to see some familiar faces, but also to meet with Uncle Krusty and Claudia. So good to see you. So if you wanted to find out how to create your own meetup, we've got the template for doing that. If you want to join the Silver Coast meetup, or you want to send a picture of your younger or older self, 913-590-303 for pics and voice messages to the studio, please. And that is, of course, our WhatsApp connection into GMP HQ this morning. So let me just take that off there for now. Oh, actually, I'll leave it on because you might have just gone to get a pen and paper and come back and go, oh, he's taking it off already. Okay, more of your comments before we look at droughts. And another nice, whilst we're talking about business this morning, a nice little idea. Vanya Martin is the project coordinator and author of How to Implement a Local Food System in Canteens. Canteens is not a place in Portugal. I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out, okay? Which is an in loco guide in Portuguese. So you'll be able to learn your Portuguese. And I'm going to tell you more about in loco and starting. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'll leave those adverts up there. I don't know why. And I know you'll have your theories why Google is serving me up adverts of ladies in bikinis. I can explain. Loads of them. Alibaba.com. Get myself a nice little thong by the look of it there from Alibaba.com. I'll leave those on there for your delight as well. Or if it's just too much, tell me and I'll change them and I'll swap them over for some Viagra or chairlift, stair lift adverts as well, which seem to come my way as well. It's not based on search history, I can assure you. It might be partly, but I anyway, I'm not going to dig myself a deeper hole right now with that. But we'll all look at that together. And I wanted to look at the weird section. Did you know on the Portugal News website there is a weird button you can press? And so the drought is revealing underwater ghost towns, a bit like that swimwear for some people. Sorry if that's a reference to your love life, but yes, the drought is revealing underwater ghost towns. So that's a latest in weird story in the Portugal News. A tiny gecko survives a 4,800-mile trip from China to UK among some musical instruments. Oh, that would be a nice surprise, wouldn't it? As you were getting out the oboe, whipping out the oboe, only to find a little reptilian there. David Icke, his Amazon delivery would be complete with a gecko jumping out, wouldn't it? Crocodile found under school floorboards goes on display. What? A traffic jam caused by people rushing to donate duvets to dog rescue centre. British company plans to create film studio in space in 2024. Oh, and the important question of civilization. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I think that's going back. That was a little bit of a Christmas news puff, wasn't it? But if you want to answer that now, you're welcome. Was Die Hard a Christmas movie or was it not? And is it unlucky to talk about Christmas in March? Let's not dwell on that. Okay, more of your comments and chat, please. T-Duck is here. With excellent dedication to the Wright and Carlin quotes, of course, and the news update about the show that we do together. It's last one. As one door closes, another opens. So don't worry, the storm drain is opening elsewhere. So, bom dia, alegria, campanação de Lisboa, muito chuvosa. So very rainy, very good T-Duck, very rainy there in the capital. And I'll come back to your Wright and Carlin quotes. And you'll have plenty of those on our new radio project, which I'll tell you about in a little while. Do remind me if I forget T-Duck. Okay, so OLP, midlife crisis. Prof. Eusebio says, I'm coming for 2 months on the 6th of April. And then all being well, I was thinking about you earlier this morning, actually, and wondering when you're finally going to be here. Prof, all being well, I'll move permanently or I'll be having a perm in June, July. If you've got any pictures of yourself with a perm from the 1970s, do send those in so we can have a giggle as well. But a perm move for Prof in June, July of this year, and a little visit for 2 months from the 6th of April, so that everybody knows about Prof's movements this morning. And who doesn't like the best movements? That's it, Garvo's quotes, and the best movements happen in the morning. You're part of one of them here, folks, whether you like it or not. Looking to stay. Oh, okay, OLP, update. The Moxie Orient Bonvoy property. Do you know that one by Marriott? Just a couple of days to do sightseeing and get our bearings. Yes. Does anyone know where they can buy some bearings, please, in Lisboa as well? And shout out to Uncle Krusty. Pleasure to meet you and the missus yesterday. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Krusty. Nothing that a little bit of moisturizer can't sort out. Great. Yeah, really great to meet up with you both yesterday, and good luck with your search here in Portugal. And who's this? Baddy's here. Bon dia, alegria, gumpers. Hope you're all having a good one. Yes, I would agree. Jack Polly, just to see if James is here. Bon dia from Portimao. How are you doing, Jack? How's it going there? You and Mr. Polly. And yes, I am a Seahawk fan. Didn't even see the question here, but happy for Wilson. What's happening here? I remember Peyton Manning retired in Denver after being with the Colts for most of his career. Remember it well. Not like the days of old. Okay, a bit of a reminisce there. And we go, talking of reminiscing, let's go have a look in Portuguese history today. And I wonder, do you see yourself continuing to do this? I don't want to, tie you down or get you to commit right now, but we enjoy this so much. Can we all tell the Prof how much we appreciate him and this particular service here, as well as the Origins of Portugal occasional series? 1826, the death of João VI splits the country between liberals and absolutists. You see, nothing new about that, which leads to the civil war known as the Liberal Wars. My goodness. And we need to check our definition of what a liberal might be in this context, presumably. Can we have a bit more background on that? Your historical analysis of the political positioning? Because liberal, if you move around the globe, liberal begins to mean different things. I mean, you only have to move around the house sometimes for liberal to mean something different, let alone across continents. But what are we referring to here exactly? How would the liberals and absolutists characterize themselves in 1826, Prof? If you've got time to look at that and tell us this morning, or work from your extensive knowledge of these matters with a quick chat entry there about that. A dispute over royal succession, Dom, between Pedro, hold on a minute, between Pedro, the Emperor of Brazil, who was the king's eldest son, and possibly his younger brother Miguel, contended that Pedro had forfeited his claim to the throne by declaring Brazilian independence. Oh, I see. That didn't go down well. From Taxi, really, and for Taxi this morning. That's me saying good morning to Taxi. I will say good morning to any pets here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. Just tell me what to say. Oh, but not you, Pete Bleach. Emperor Pedro I of Brazil becomes King Pedro IV of Portugal, but abdicates in favor of his daughter, oh my goodness, of Maria II, whose namesake biscuit I love, I have to say. Anyone else a fan of the Maria biscuit? Closest thing to a rich tea you'll find in Portugal. Goes down well. A bit of dunking and a cup of tea. Anyway, more importantly than my biscuit preferences. So Pedro IV abdicates in favor of daughter Maria, who becomes Maria II of Portugal, naming his sister as regent. Not literally. There. So thank you for that. Pedro and Maria introduced a new constitution, which was more absolutist than the 1820 constitution and led to a revolt by more liberal forces. So yes, this is what happens, doesn't it? This is what happens when people just get a little bit absolute. Other people don't like it up them, and which causes revolting behavior. Are you a professor by trade, as Carl calls you? I'll let you answer that. Yes, in May is when the OLP will be here, everybody, in case you're wondering. Just don't have a set agenda yet. Still looking for places to stay and transportation ideas. Have you an area you really like? A Zest hire, I recommend car hire, or rental, as you Americans call it. Moaz as well doesn't know that one, but I saw it on their website and it's reasonably priced. Why pay so much when all you need is a pillow and a bed? This is what Doug was saying yesterday. That's why he uses Airbnb. But, you know, I think the idea here for the OLP is to have a bit of luxury while they get the bearings, right? So, yes, Stephen Wells is here as well. Morning, all. Stephen, where you been? Lovely to see you here and your smiling face on your YouTube profile pic there. Looks like a professional one, that. Looks like you popped along to the portraitist for that picture. How are you this morning? It's all that Carl's mischief, apparently. What? I'm just committed to making the Portuguese experience more about culture and history than sun and a favourable tax environment. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Prof. It's all of these things, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, it isn't a favourable tax environment, is it? Well, I mean, there are sweeteners at the beginning of your journey here. But all in all, I don't think it's really a favourable tax environment. And there are so many more wonderful things to enjoy and say about Portugal than that. But we do talk about these things from time to time, comprehensive and holistic as we are. But I see the point you're making there, Prof. You'll always be the Prof to me. We might say to each other one evening as we share a cocktail on an Atlantic beach frontage, you'll always be the Prof to me, Prof. Hola, boy. I'm already savouring that moment privately here. Hola, bon dia. Well, not so privately, as it turns out. Hola, bon dia todos. Tudo bem? Back in training again this afternoon and off for a walk this morning. So won't be here for much of the show. Have a great day, everyone. A little reminder there to everybody to grow old disgracefully. What are you doing to look after your body, everybody? You know, part of the journey of being an expat, retirement, is to take better care of yourself, as well as enjoying all those cakes and glasses of wine. Coach Turner's your man for that. And James is here. Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz Quinta Todos from James. I'm going to have a little sip of, which picture shall I put up? We'll have a quick sip of tea, I wonder. Many to choose from. And I could play the... by popular request, I could play Victoria's slideshow again with that lovely music. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to show you that slideshow again because it's very beautiful. And the music was loved. Robert Yonker didn't manage to hear his own music yesterday, so we'll make sure he gets to do that. So we're going to have a look at Benson's Box Brownie again as we come up to 9 o'clock, whereupon we will have the company of Lee McGrady, and we'll return to these to the weird stories in the Portugal news, keeping it local, growing your food and creating food locally, creating it has an ominous tone to it, doesn't it? And talking more about this drought. And of course, with Lee about starting a business here in Portugal. honestly, I feel blessed by both the music and visuals there. Isn't that delightful? I'm going to scroll down to the bottom just to see what you were saying about that lovely music. Alegria. Alegria by, and talking of which, Bon Dia Alegria, Philomena will be with us tomorrow for Philomena Friday. Isn't that fantastic? She'll be with us here tomorrow, and we'll have a bit of fun on Feel Good Friday tomorrow. So thank you so much, Robert Yonker, for that beautiful music, and to you, of course, Victoria, for those lovely pictures. And it's a Bon Dia Kids from you, of course it is, in the chat this morning. Oh, Dougie's here as well. Hold on a minute. And I had a perm once, says Victoria. Okay. Things are getting interesting in the chat and comments this morning. And there's so much for me to catch up on. God bless you all, quite frankly, for your lovely comments. And look, oh, Shouty Boy's in. Shouty Boy Andrew's in this morning. Anna's here as well. Oh, I've got to show that picture from you, Anna. This, I mean, talking about being blessed and things of a divine nature. WhatsApp's a bit slow to crank up this morning. Did I not? I thought I already had that open. But Anna sent in the most phenomenal picture yesterday, which I'll bring you as soon as WhatsApp decides to have a little stretch and a yawn and open itself up. So, no, it's not a 3-hour episode. Good morning to you, Brian. Good morning to you, Anna, as well. Bon dia alegria from you. And I will show that fantastic picture. 10,000K members of the community. It is incredible, isn't it? Please join us. And I'm sure if you're not a member of the forum, you'll have much, you can while away hours with mirth, merriment, and information giving there over there on our free to join community forum. So yes, 10,000 members. Michelle's here as well, and the place was in total mayhem. Morning, Michelle. The place was in total mayhem yesterday, getting orderly now with new piles of things to pack, sell, and donate. Yeah, that little scene yesterday referred to here by Suze. Well done. Keep up the good work, Suze. Hope it's all going well over there. Raj is here this morning. And we've got one like. Where's Keeper of the Likes this morning? We've got one like from Lika or Lika or Lika. Of course we have. Do you, Lika, do you go around the internet liking things, as your name might suggest there? Well, thank you for doing that here this morning. Bon dia, Torush. Good to see all here, says Raj as well. And bon dia, Carl and friends. Just finished my Hof breathing exercises and ready for my cold shower, and then a wonderful day. There's someone ahead of the energy crisis curve there. I think a lot of people are going to be claiming to be doing the Wim Hof method just because they don't want to pay these extortionate prices for energy sometime soon or already. I mean, that was shocking what Gary Orgles had to say to us yesterday. £500 to fill his fuel oil tank, now £1,500. Looks like an overnight change of that scale. Quite incredible. We'll come back to more of your shouting, Andrew Gilchrist, and you man cave people, because we got another one here this morning. Mr. McGrady, Lee McGrady, the head gardener, reporting from the van this morning. How are you, mate?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How's the show been going?
Well, you know what this lot are like. Gilchrist is in, shouting and screaming like he does. Look at this. Cole, Andrew, banana. What? He changes the atmosphere, doesn't he? Lots of the regulars, the Vim.
I'm on a Skype. I'm on a call.
But who are you?
I'm the gardener. I've come to the fruit trees.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you waiting for speak?
Yes. Okay.
the life of a gardener. Who are you?
I'm being questioned.
Well, that's quite right too, isn't it? We don't mind that, do we?
Yeah, it's a neighbour. I've come in through the back gate this morning, so I've drove past the neighbour's house and come down to quiz me.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Portuguese security. No CCTV, just a direct knock on the window. Who are you? Very good.
No. And the thing is, I met her last week.
She didn't remember.
I met the neighbour last week.
That's outrageous, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, if she needs us to validate your credentials, Lee, just put her on. She can join the show this morning, and we'll vouch for you. We'll say no, never heard of him. Don't know who he is. So
is there Nick in the lead?
Yeah, what's all that lead back there? So here you are, literally on duty, getting ready for a day at your office, which is the great outdoors, of course. You're a lucky man in that regard, aren't you?
I'm going to show off a bit.
All right, show off a bit. Go on. Here we go.
Showing you my office for the day.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I've got some fruit trees to be pruning today and treating, but the weather's not perfect for it.
The weather isn't perfect for pruning, you say?
No, it's chucking it down this morning. It's bouncing 10 minutes
It's chucking it down. Okay, so you're a lucky man. How long have you been doing this sort of work?
Oh, since I left school, so 30 years.
30
Straight from
years.
school. Yeah.
All right. With that as your backdrop each and every day. And you've obviously transferred your skills to Portugal. And well, actually, yeah, when did you arrive here in Portugal?
Officially, the week after Brexit.
Oh, wow. Good timing.
I'd been bouncing back and forth. Typical story. Came to Portugal, met a girl. Bouncing back and forth on Ryanair flights as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
I was self-employed in the UK, so I was quite flexible in my work.
Yeah.
And then we decided if it went badly, I would come and live here, and if it went well, she'd come and work in the UK.
Ah, okay.
So the day after Brexit, I booked a flight, come over, started my NIF application and my permission to stay. Yeah, good fun.
Very good, very good, and starting a business here. So that's what we want to talk about. I mean, you know, if anyone's got any questions for Lee about moving here, because that's a lot of what we're about here at Expats Portugal is helping people move to Portugal, and of course, then enjoy their life once they're here. And a vital part of that is making a living, of course, which you very bravely have done. Were you self-employed before you came here, or is this all new?
No, I was self-employed back in the UK. I'd worked for Oldham Council for a long time, took redundancy at the last bad depression. And did okay. Did a lot of commercial work in the UK. Was making good money. Sold up the business in the UK to come to Portugal to have a couple of years of relaxing and doing nothing.
Yeah.
That was my plan. After a couple of months of sat by the pool drinking beer every day, I thought, I can't do this. I need to work.
Yes. Well,
So,
yeah, believe it or not, everybody, that moment can come. How long did that moment take? Have you just lounging by the pool?
Oh, 2-3 months, really. Yeah, that's all I could do. Yeah,
He doubled in size.
Yeah, it was too much. It was drinking at midday and eating bad food all day is not good for you.
Easily done, though. Easily done. So you turn that round and thought, okay, I'll start a business here instead. Pick up the old gardening tools, get cracking. I think that's really brave. I mean, you know, I've done a similar thing. You know, got into business because I'm not retiring here, and actually can't imagine retirement. There's a sort of generation of us, isn't there, that can't imagine retiring really anymore, and the circumstances aren't very conducive to it anyway, are they? Let's face it.
I do have a retirement plan, but it consists of having another business, doing something different.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Totally understand that, and I think it's a very brave thing to do. I think others will think that. How has it been from your point of view? How was that process? You know, first and foremost thing is like, oh my God, you're starting a business in Portugal. That's going to be bureaucratic. Did you find that to be the case?
At the beginning, yes, it was a nightmare. But I'd already started advertising, and one of my very first customers that I had before we were officially registered as a business, was very kind and helped and came to the tax office with me.
Oh, wow.
And when she was working, that was her line of work. So she knew everything I needed to do. So I was going from office to office, being sent around in circles. This kind customer came with me. And within 35 minutes, I was up and going. And everything was, and it really is not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah. And it just happened.
It's so true.
They chose the name and everything. I didn't. I'm just sat there looking at the ceiling. I had no idea. Okay. Also, I don't speak the language. I don't speak Portuguese at all. So that was always going to be a barrier to the paperwork side of it.
Yes.
But no, she was great, and within, like I said, less than 40 minutes, we were registered and paperwork was done.
And this is a great tip, actually, Lee. Get a Portuguese BFF, you know, to go with you. And the great thing about that is not only that they speak the language and they know the culture, but what I've noticed is when you take a Portuguese friend along, they challenge people as well, don't they? So they'll say, hold on a minute, that's not right. You're not meant to do it like that. You're meant to do it like this. And the two Portuguese people in the office might have a bit of a ding dong together, and the person in the office may well give way to the Portuguese resident who knows their stuff, and they don't take it personally, do they? It's just how people roll here, it seems.
I think one of the first things she said when we walked in was, "We're on a time schedule. I'm not sitting here all day," kind of that sort of attitude with the girl behind the counter.
Yes.
The girl behind the counter immediately was on the back foot and apologising for all the delays in the past. And
wow.
It was done, and we were sat in the cafe having lunch at, like I say, 40 minutes later, I'm sat buying a lunch.
That's
over the
brilliant.
moon.
Well, that's how to do it. That's take your Portuguese, your new Portuguese best mate along who knows about these things. And Portuguese people tend to know about these things with the complexities of the system, and then take them out for a good old lunch afterwards. So that's a top tip. And I'm guessing what you did there, Lee, was you registered your activity, which you do at the cities, the Loja de Cidade, the one-stop shop of bureaucracy in your local town or at your Camera Municipal, at the Finanças office. Go to the Finanças office. Sometimes they are separate shop fronts as well, Finanças, and that's where you go and register your activity. And then you can start issuing green receipts, which a long time ago were literally green receipts, weren't they? And now it's an electronic system through the portal, which you may need another Portuguese friend to help you with getting into the portal. But get yourself a tax rep as well, right? Get yourself a Portuguese accountant.
Yes. Well, I didn't go self-employed. I started a limited company.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I'm not stupid. And I'd realised the way I wanted the business to go. And so I'd had a discussion with a friend before I went to register. And there's so many benefits to being a registered company that you can't get if you're self-employed.
Yeah.
So I had to have an accountant before I registered the business.
Okay. All right.
And I was lucky enough to find an English-speaking accountant, which was kind of local to me.
Yeah.
It still takes €160 a month off me, but
presumably,
yeah.
you just give them the proverbial bag of receipts, and they take care of everything and tell you what you need to do and when. Which is, you're buying some peace of mind there, I guess.
Well, again, I think I do a bit too much on the accountancy side. It annoys me because I have my full spreadsheets. I do my own receipts, and then I send him a comprehensive spreadsheet of what I've spent and what I've made. Yeah. And so I think he's got lucky with me, but I'm paranoid about the tax. I don't want any issues with it. Yeah. So I'll make sure everything's squeaky clean.
Okay.
Just because I'm an immigrant in a country where I don't speak the language, and I don't want to get into some sort of argument with a taxman over €50. It's just not worth the grief. So
one that you're likely to lose. Yes. Okay. Well said. Well said.
Never win against a taxman.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely right. So you've been spotted there. Stephen, colleague of the Man Cave, Lee sneaking in the tradesman's entrance there. Stephen, I think, glad to see you this morning. Dodgy character, Andy. We have never experienced that. Maybe it's because I'm a northerner that I get questioned by people that met me last week. That's Pete, the sort of comment we're used to from Pete, right? And Capricorns, pleased to see you as well. Lee as well. It's a Man Cave thing, everybody. Rebel Mama, your beard looks great. It looks longer than before. That's how it tends to work, isn't it? I have planted massive amounts of flowers. Hope to show pics here later in the spring. So started off with the beard growth and gone on to flowers there. I think yes, absolutely, and I think we'll talk to Lee about what we should be planting in a moment. A couple of things to talk about: the Happy Homesteaders, of course, the Monday night Q&A, and this new business network that you're talking about as well. Question for Lee: how hard was it to set up the business? So I'm thinking, I mean, we've covered that really, haven't we, this morning? Anything else you want to add, Lee, though, about starting a business? Your advice to people?
It's definitely worth doing. I mean, being legitimate in the country, I just felt it was better to go straight in the deep end as a limited company. Just because I know within the year I'm not going to be on my own, and I'm going to have employees, and I want to buy land, and I want my insurance to be the best insurance I can have, which is difficult in not a limited company. It restricts the amount of insurance policies you can get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's backward. In the UK, you can start a business within 15 minutes online.
Yeah.
You've gone to company's house, boom, 15 quid and you're done.
Yes.
It's a little bit different here, but it's worth the effort. And it gives customers a peace of mind as well. If I'm registered as a limited company, I have to have my complaints book, which I've never used. It's never been asked for.
Okay. See if we can change that.
Yeah, it might get changed now. I've been spotted coming in the back door. I also use industrial chemicals. So again, it helped with my qualification application for that. Because I had to reapply for some licenses I had in the UK. I had to reapply for them here. Yes. So again, being a limited company, it helped with all that. And it gives you a bit more kudos with the customer as well.
Yes, indeed.
I don't do cash jobs. They ask all the time, how much is it for cash? So I don't do it. It all goes through the bank. I'm an immigrant. I want to pay tax on it. And that attitude reassures people that they're getting a genuine tradesman and not someone with a van.
Fly by night. Yes, indeed. Oh, well said. Okay, so a few benefits there. I think that answers your question, Capricorn Chris. If you've got any more to ask Lee, you or anybody here about starting a business in Portugal, do let us know. And because we can't keep him here too long, he's got a business to run and he's got to get cracking. So the concept of retirement, I think James agrees with us here. Concept of retirement is so completely different than it was 40 years ago. Yeah, you haven't got a double salary for life or anything like that coming from Oldham Council, I don't suppose, have you, Lee?
In the way that I got part of my redundancy agreement was they paid up my full pension.
Oh, okay. Nice one.
It was the only way I'd leave. Again, I was in a good position. I was in a good position with them. I had 20 years in, or 17. I had 17 years in, and I was just white collar staff at the time. I'd been made white collar staff like the year before, so they were struggling to get white collar staff to leave. Yeah. So I said, I don't like the job. I'm happy to go if you give me my full benefits of leaving, including paying up my full pension. And they were keen for me to go at that point.
Funny that. And that must have been awful for you to have a white collar job. I know you love being outdoors. It must have been pretty difficult being in an office situation.
It was the old organisation, the council at the time was changing, and it had gone from a job I loved doing. And I'd moved from parks and open spaces into countryside services, and I was loving it. It was great. It was kind of a goal I wanted to do at the time, but once I started doing it, I realised it wasn't for me. Countryside services sort of put me over the edge of the cliff to leave. So
you're not a cubicle man, I know that. So it wasn't 60; it was 160 euros a month, as I understand. Is that right?
My accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat stupid like that.
160. Yeah, okay.
It's 125, 160. I can't quite remember which one.
Okay, and that sounds. I mean, from other, from looking across the board, that sounds about right to me. So not 60, as you heard there, Matty, but approximately around 160, and it will vary, of course, as well. Yeah. Lee, you're so right. Do everything above board, and it will be so much easier. Says Capricorn Chris. And T-Duck, lie to your girlfriend, lie to your wife, even lie to your mum, but never lie to the tax man. What a world!
Never lie to the tax man.
What a world!
Wise words. Yeah.
There you go. And unlike, I think we've clarified that for UK. Unlike Portugal, 9-year-olds don't have tax numbers. Oh, we found it really hard as a limited company. Needs Portuguese receipts, and all our business is based on people back in London there. Okay, so yeah, different strokes for different folks on that. Lee, can I be the first to comment in the red book? No, I don't. I think will be the answer to that. You cannot have his complaints book. Okay, and yes, on retirement, I suppose this is what's going on, isn't it? Did you guys hear about the teachers in Florida invested all of their pensions in a Russian bank? Your pensions will be worth nada, as they say over here, by the end of the year. Well, there he is, the paragon of good news. Always cheerful there, isn't he? Well, then I'm an immigrant, Roaz. The only way I'd go back to the US is kicking and screaming. Okay. So people are giving us an insight into their sort of personal inclinations here in relation to the old place. Lee, what are the other benefits of setting up a limited company? So we've mentioned a few of them there, but any others that we haven't mentioned? I mean, presumably buying a vehicle, leasing a vehicle, getting those sorts of benefits are there for you as a registered limited type company?
I bought this one. I don't think it would make much difference, limited or self-employed. But my next one's going to be a lease. I want something a little bigger. This has been great for the last 2 years. It's been fantastic. It's minimum charge going over the bridge, which I do.
Oh, yes.
So this is the biggest vehicle I can get over the bridge on the minimum cost, which is why I bought it. But I'm convinced I need something bigger now. So I'm going for an open back pickup truck style crew cab to accommodate more people and to accommodate more stuff on the back.
Superb, superb. And there are people that are thinking to themselves, like me, oh, I don't want to ride shotgun with Lee one day, going over the April 25th bridge, off to work in the morning. That must feel like a great feeling compared to a cold, drizzly morning in Oldham, possibly.
I do like it. I try to hit the bridge at around 6:30 in the morning. Just because the traffic's just so much better.
Yeah.
And when you get the sunrises coming up from the salt marshes at the far side, it's amazing.
Yes.
And then the same at night when I'm coming home, 7:30. And I'm getting the sunsets behind Belaine at the moment.
Oh, fantastic.
7 o'clock sunsets at Belaine. Perfect. Yeah. You've got to be careful. I always take the middle lane because I want to look at the view every time. I want to look at the view. So middle lane on the
never tire of that view from up there on that fantastic that Abril Vinti Sink Bridge there in Lisbon. Superb. So that's your patch. That's where you work. You join us on a Monday evening, of course, Lee. 6:15, apart from the first Monday of the month. And we've been doing this for a good while now, probably well over a year, where you very kindly show up alongside Anna and John from the Fresh Air crew. They're based back in the UK, and you answer live. You don't prepare like a lot of these gardening shows do. You're coming from your extensive knowledge and love of gardening and plants and all things natural, answering questions from all around the world on a Monday evening. I love that show. And isn't it great? And aren't you noticing more people are getting into growing their own food now? We're seeing a little bit of a surge in this, aren't we?
I've quoted this last 4 weeks. I've probably quoted 7 different jobs where they want veg beds putting in.
Really?
Yeah. It's gonna be part of my expansion. I think is to go more towards the self-sufficiency side of horticulture. I think there's money to be made at it. And it's all about the money. So, and it's something I enjoy doing as well. Something I can talk passionately with, which comes over the customer well.
So is it strictly speaking self-sufficiency if you pay a gardener to do it for you?
It's self-sufficiency if you get a company to build your basis and then give you advice this year. Okay. Because everyone's coming at this from a lot of people are coming at this from having no knowledge at all. Yeah. And you can watch YouTube videos, you can read the books, but there's always something that's going to trip you up, and a bit of professional advice comes in useful. Especially when you're setting up irrigation systems, and every plot of land is different. You know, every plot of land has a different history to it, so you've got to be aware of the type of trees, the type of soil you've got.
Yes.
The best way to, because some people just want to pop it in the ground, and other people want expensive raised beds, and I have to talk them out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not cheap.
That's not a good businessman when you talk people out of doing expensive jobs.
No, I know. But beneath your business head is a great heart. We know that, and anyone who's watched on a Monday will know that as well. I think it's nature for you, isn't it? But you also got to make a living. Hi, Lee. See you on Monday on the gardening show. If it's growing on my land, I'll be self-sufficient. So I suppose what you're doing is setting people up and overcoming that the steep learning curve of learning about how to grow your own food and get them going with it, and then they can sort of take over the steering wheel themselves in time.
That's the idea. Yeah. So, that's the future plan, is to be more help people set up, and then an advisory role is paid into the original first year, let's say. So if I say, I'll do this, I'll work with you for a year, and then the training wheels are off and you go yourself. Great idea.
Great idea. Yeah. Chris loving the iconic April 25th bridge. The noise is something to be heard. It's true. I tell my kids there's a dragon living under the bridge. It's the metal. It's the metal work. You're driving on metal, aren't you? and it creates a certain sort of noise as you're driving over.
And it's great when the train passes underneath you as well, because the train's on the lower level. So when you go along and you hear the train coming up underneath, early in the morning when there's very few cars on there, you can hear the train racing underneath you. That's quite good. Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, and having someone help you like Lee to get you started with self-sufficiency. Yeah, you can't learn to swim by reading a book or watching a video. So true. There's only so much you can do in that way, and then you need to get the help of a professional. Pete couldn't agree more. Always best to seek professional advice and get it seen to. And a request for your company on the Silver Coast here. When are you headed this way? Owen is asking. Yes, when you come here, I want to see you as well. If you will, we've seen all these man cavers here. Can you give us a very quick introduction into what the man cave's like now and this new business network that you guys have launched? What goes on a Friday night after 10 o'clock?
I'm not going to comment on that because it's disgusting, to be honest.
Disgusting.
It's awful. So I don't. It's not me professionally.
Yes.
Friday nights, we took over from you. Obviously, you had your man cave time, and we took over. I do the Facebook page. Andy does the live chats on a Friday night, which he arranges fantastically. And a group of us between 6 and 10 people get online every Friday night and drink to excess and talk rubbish for several hours. I normally leave about 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Between midnight and 2 is my cut-off point. I tend not to go past 2 o'clock. But I know they occasionally stay up till 4 in the morning drinking. But I work more Saturdays, so I've got to take it easy.
You're a trooper. You're a trooper.
Yeah.
So it's like it started, of course, because everyone was locked down at home. And it was a way of like being at the bar, wasn't it, with your mates? So there's still that going on. It is like hanging out with your mates, a place where everyone knows you.
The great thing is, I was already living here for a few years before the man cave started up, before I got involved in the man cave. So I have my Portuguese friends. I have the people I'd met personally, which is great. I tried to get in at my local bar. I've got my favourite places to go, so I get recognised. But then I went on the man cave, and it's been really great because you meet people. A lot of Southerners on there, though. I don't like it. A lot of people from London.
Sorry to hear that.
But this evening, I'll be having dinner with Jason Hall, who's coming into Lisbon to help me out on a job tomorrow.
Great.
Met through the man cave. And then Saturday, we're having a bit of a man cave meetup. It'll be 4 of us, four guys from the man cave having lunch in Lisbon. What could go wrong?
He's that Top Gear. Make sure you shoot a bit of video with that later on in proceedings, I think. But that's amazing. Well, and is that the social aspect of it, and moving from the virtual to the real world, is what's given birth to this new business networking idea as well, then, which sounds like a fantastic idea. Tell us more about that.
That was a drunken idea.
Of course. All the best ones are.
All the best ideas come when you're drunk.
Yes.
We meet every Friday night, and the lads are kind of dedicated to it, and it's really good. And we've got, like, Dave is coming into Lisbon. I think he's here now. He's actually meeting him tomorrow. But when he said he was flying in, everyone was saying, look, if you need somewhere to stay, come and crash with me. Yeah, it was just really that friendly attitude that everyone has on the cave.
Yeah.
Loads of offers for him to sleep. You need a bed, give us a call, go out for dinner. And it just got me thinking that we're dedicated to the cave. Why can't we do something with it? Something more sensible than just getting drunk on a Friday night. And networking is, I know it's a bit, it's not normally my cup of tea. I would slag people off with the networking events.
It's a Southerners thing, isn't it? Southerners.
Yeah. We've got a few people coming over, and if we can help them get set up and started in either business or the advice on get the NIF numbers, but it's sort of within the cave, within the group. And then it got me thinking that we could do it on a bigger scale and maybe do something together. So I woke up Sunday morning I normally wake up thinking that was a bad idea. What the hell did I? What was I talking about? But I woke up and thought, actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So set up the Facebook group, contacted everybody, and everybody had woke up with the same attitude that I had of this could actually do something. So we started up a business networking Facebook page, but I've kind of included some of the Portuguese business people I know into so it's not just going to be the man cave, and it's not just going to be men. So at the moment it's called the Cave Business Forum, but that might have to change because it's not just for the men, it's for
everybody. Well, yeah, it's an inclusive place. This is what Pete's saying. It's mildly moist here this morning. No discrimination in the man cave. We accept northerners as if they were real people. That's so sweet and nice of him, isn't it? To be doing that. So as you said, no discrimination. All welcome who want to start a business and get a bit of support. How do people get in touch? I mean, presumably one of your colleagues here, one of the man cavers, can write in capital letters how to get in touch.
Well, at the moment, we've got the Facebook page, but it's a closed group at the moment because I want to have this initial meeting on Monday, so we can all say our piece. Yes. So at the moment, like 15 members. So from Tuesday morning, I'll open the group up to anybody that wants to join.
Oh, nice one. Okay. Well, let me know.
If you're really keen at the moment, you can message me directly on Facebook Messenger, and I can send you an invite to the people that are watching the radio show. Okay. That's not a problem. Yeah.
All right. And yes, talking, it's not just for men. A couple of women chipping in here. Inspiring. Can't wait to see what you chaps get up to. Careful what you wish for is what I would say with anything to do with the man cave. And Lee, are girls allowed in the networking group? I just like to hear people. We had this with the man cave voyeurs and people just wanting to watch I mean, presumably you need to be active if you're going to be in it. You can't just have people watching you work, can you? I mean, although that, it's be like a Coke break, won't it? The man cave Coke break where they can watch men working in various states of undress. I mean, think about that as a possible income stream as well. But how would this work? I mean, if people are going to get involved, they need to be having a business, presumably, rather than just observing.
No, if you want to join and get inspired to do something, or if they've got a bit of knowledge and they know if they've already started a business in Portugal or they want to start a business, I think that's the place. That's what it's going to be for. Yeah, I don't think they'll get any benefit from just sitting watching them from the sidelines. I don't think it'll be beneficial to them. Okay. And we're not chasing numbers. We don't want a high number of people in that do nothing. We want a close group of people that want to help each other and develop each other's businesses. Yeah.
Okay.
I've already spoken to a couple of lads, business coaches, a guy that's into the finance side of it. So we're already thinking we can do sort of live stream Q&As or small podcasts that explain certain aspects of business.
Super.
So yeah, it's going to be very business orientated. It's not going to be a social thing like the cave is. Okay. It's going to be far more business orientated.
It's like golfing without having to play golf. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, great networking ideas. Always loved it. Sintra's Farming Family. Hey, Druba, great to have you here. Fantastic to see you after all this time. It sounds like Druba might be interested in that as well. Excellent. Lee, thank you so much for being here. Just very finally then, just a reminder to everybody to join us on a Monday evening, 6:15. He is the head gardener, everybody, as well as this exciting plan he's telling us about. He is the head gardener on a Monday evening, answering all your questions about happy homesteading and growing your own food, as we were talking about before. However, or as well as 95% of Portugal in a severe or extreme drought. We'll be looking at this on the next session of the gardening show on how to conserve water. I mean, we can't really, well, some of us here can make it rain by the look of it, but we're in this desperate situation, aren't we, Lee? What are your quick tips on this ahead of what's going to be happening next Monday when we meet?
Oh, God, Cal, about to put me on the spot.
All right, I'll tell you what,
water preservation, so saving water now while it's raining. Get your tanks out, get your drains open, save as much as you can, because it's forecast another 2 weeks of rainy weather. So we should all be preserving what we can. Covering your soil to stop evaporation if you've got open soil beds. Either wood chip or membrane does the job. Set your irrigation systems correctly. Make sure you're getting the right pressure. You're not overwatering with your irrigation systems, which is easily done. And enjoy your pool without guilt, because
I-
we've had 2 years of being locked down. Summer's coming. Enjoy it without guilt.
Well, yes, enjoy life without guilt. I mean, you know, things are tough enough, aren't they, without people guilting themselves or each other. I think there's a lot of practicality around this that we can employ, and we will do. And we'll talk more about this next Monday on the gardening Q&A from 6:15. And you'll see that on this channel, of course, as well. You can see the back episodes full of rich in information on the YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much, Lee. Did we miss anything about starting a business here in Portugal that you want to include before you go and prune those trees?
The only advice I give people, or special English people or Americans, is I've not learned a language, and I am fully booked. I am flooded for work. So play on your strengths, and one of my strengths has been an English gardener, and that's what I want to be referred to as. When people ask for a gardener, I know Lee is an English gardener. I have customers that I've never really had a full conversation with because they don't speak English, I don't speak Portuguese, but the quality is there, so they let me get on with it, and they pay the month. So play to your strengths, and mine is I'm ignorant. I don't speak Portuguese. I've turned the weakness into a strength. I've turned the weakness into a strength. So
that's a great business advice to leave us with, and I do like that, and that's what I want people to do for the rest of the show. Now, we've got another 26 minutes, but how would you characterize yourself? Lee is the English gardener. It's a bit like a boast, isn't it, for the clients? It's a bit like having an English nanny, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's Brazilian gardeners. Predominantly, the people I'm competing against are Brazilians working on minimum wage.
Right. Okay.
I can't sustain a business on minimum wage. I wouldn't want to work on minimum wage here in Portugal because it's horrendous. Yes. So I've gone exactly the opposite way around. I've made myself so expensive. I can't believe people pay me. Again, not so much as men should say online. But I do a much higher quality of work because it's my own business, it's my own pride. So I can get away with being a little bit more specialist as well, and a bit more picky in what I do. But I do have customers that boast about having an English gardener, and
that's great.
I don't know if they get any kudos out of it with the neighbours, but it does play well, and it does play well for me. All my advertising is English. All my advertising is in Portuguese, but bad Portuguese. You know, I'm English, and I've got the little English flag in the top, half English flag, half Portuguese flag.
Very good, very good.
And just play on it.
Yeah. Do you find there's an element of Anglophile? So the Portuguese and the British obviously have this long-standing relationship. So that does work quite well. James thinks, I don't think American anything is a good marketing strategy. Okay, fair enough. I'm sure we could come up with something. There was another great link. Oh, yeah, thank you as well, James, for saying stay awake, be aware, do what you can and have fun. What a great strategy in life. Oh, I'm a Catholic. I do everything with guilt. So that you could a Catholic gardener, I suppose, would make you sound like you're quite conscientious and worried about missing anything. And be careful if you are looking up Brazilian gardening. That could give you all sorts of web searches, folks. So be careful with your search history on that one. I wondered where he was going with that. This is the best advice. I must totally agree. You must learn the language. It's not as easy, especially for me. This vintage man finds nothing sticks. Lee's shaking his head. He's not doing it. He told you. He's made that weakness a strength.
I can order beer. I can order my food. And I get from XP. I don't need any more than that. And there'll be so many people screaming at the screen now. Say, you must learn the language, you must learn the language. Everybody I deal with speaks English. It's fantastic.
Well, that's something you very rarely hear on this show. We do recommend that you learn the language. And I think you're being a bit modest.
One of the things that terrifies me is that my fiancée has a big social group of girls. And when we go out for dinner, they're talking away. I'd hate to know what we're saying.
Yes, quite.
If I don't understand them, I don't have to get involved in a conversation. I can dream out the window without looking rude.
And you cannot. Well, there is that to enjoy, and we do. I think generally speaking, we encourage people to learn the language, and I think Lee probably knows and says a lot more than he's letting on here. but it is a great thing to not know what people are moaning about as well, isn't it? Because if you and I were on a bus or a train in England, we would hear everybody's English conversations and we'd be thoroughly depressed by the end of it. Here in Portugal, you and I can sit on a train and we don't know what people are moaning about, do we? And we can just sit there like dreaming and looking.
Ignorance is bliss.
Absolutely right. And on a final note here, a couple of final notes. This is what you found, isn't it? Where there's muck, there's brass, lad. And who doesn't like Brazilian gardening in the morning? So there you go. Even if it is minimum wage, there are fans of the said discipline there. Lee, thank you so much. We've taken a lot of your time there. I mean, that probably cost us quite a lot of money. An English gardener giving us half an hour of time there. So sorry about that.
I'll bill you later.
All right, mate. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing the Q&A on a Monday. Really appreciate your contribution to that project. And we look forward to seeing everyone there to talk about saving water and growing your own food from next Monday. Take care, mate. Have a great day.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Happy pruning. Ciao, ciao. See you.
Ciao, ciao.
There he goes, off to do a bit of pruning and not Brazilian gardening there. So Brazilian bushes are infamously free of... Yeah, not much pruning to do there, I suppose, to be fair. And I feel the Anglo love when I'm in town, especially from the missus. Ooh, very nice. Oh, excellent. Vintage and Teflon there. James and Moaz having a little conversation there on the benefits of aging, right? Vintage and Teflon. I think that sounds like quite a good combo. You can say you were developed by NASA, can't you? Wasn't Teflon? I don't think vintage was developed by NASA, but I think Teflon might have been one of those products that's come into public use thanks to the scientific endeavors of the aeronauts there. Well, marvelous. There you go. I hope you're a little bit closer to starting your Portuguese business, if that indeed is what you want to do. We've talked about the drought there. Lee's given you a few pointers. We'll talk about that more next Monday. I want to talk about, we won't go to the weird section as like an and finally here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. And yes, if you do want to learn the lingo, join us tomorrow. Philomena's here. Philomena Friday. Well, I'll need Owen to send me the jingle again first thing in the morning. I must save it to my desktop, everybody. Anyway, what have you been sending in on 913-590-303? Oh, it's an amazing picture from Anna. I will download that, and that's going to be left on the screen at the end. Do stay tuned to the end because there is the picture from, it says, today's halo from Villarreal to Sant Antonio. You could see it for a short while. Is extraordinary. It is worth waiting for, friends. Sue's sending, oh, the packing's looking pretty nice there. If you want to be inspired with your packing, this is how to do it. I'll stick that picture up as well. Oh, Philomena, I wonder if this is for public consumption. Let's have a very quick listen.
Olá, bom dia, alegria. Amanhã vamos cantar Lá vai uma, lá vão duas, três pombinhas a voar. Tchau, até amanhã.
Oh, thank goodness that was a message for all of you and not just her telling me what an idiot I am when it comes to learning Portuguese. No, she doesn't do that really. Okay, thank you everybody for your lovely pictures. I nearly blew some cover on a Guess the Gumper there, 913-590-303. And yes, tomorrow it'll be
Philomena Friday.
Cheers, Owen. You're ahead of me there. Okay, so you've learned more about the man cave this morning. You've learned more about starting a business in Portugal. Let's hear about one now. This intrigued me. I haven't done any advanced research. I know you're thinking that's really unlike you, Carl, not to plan ahead in this way. But let's have a look at this together, live on air, shall we? Because it caught my eye and I thought it would be worthy of mention. Keeping things local. I think that's good advice right now. Vanya Martin is the project coordinator and author of How to Implement a Local Food System in Canteens, which, as I said before, is not a place in Portugal. We're going to find out what that actually means now as we read through this article. It's an in loco guide in Portuguese, so you can practice your Portuguese. And I'm sure I'm right about Lee. He knows much more than he's letting on there. And there they are. There's the lovely pictures of bikinis that are being sold to me at the moment. On Alibaba, I think. What other adverts have I got here? Hiring work from anywhere. What does that mean, I wonder? I don't know who that is or why that's on my screen. But anyway, In Loco is a non-profit association in the Algarve, which was established in 1988, aiming to promote local-based development to improve quality of life as their overarching vision in an involved, caring, and sustainable world. That's a good start, isn't it? In local, probably meaning nothing to do with being crazy, but being in the locality, I suspect. Purpose of the guide was launched to promote local supply models of school canteens. Okay, this is a great idea then. School canteens we're talking about, and producing the food locally for them. Project aimed at bringing entities responsible for menus in schools to get behind local producers. Great idea. It was produced to support entities in taking a position in reducing the impact on the planet by consuming. I'm going to translate this in just a moment, because I think sometimes in these environmental circles, these long-winded explanations don't help. Maybe you would like to see this as well in the chat and comment for us. So in reducing the impact on the planet by consuming locally and lowering proximity circuits, specifically looking at canteens and how these entities can become more responsible and informed consumers, but also raise awareness and to persuade locals to become more conscious. Okay, so because it's good to grow food locally and feed it to the kids is what I'm going to go with there. They also produced a second guide to work alongside this called Consume Locally, which covers the advantages of consuming locally and how to evaluate your food consumption profile, i.e. look at what you eat. It also explains why you should opt for local food producers who are on your doorstep. Yep. The advantages include identity preservation. Oh, I suppose that's a cultural reference there. Yeah, keep local food local. Sustainable local food for local people. It's sounding very localist. Sustainability of the local economy as well as environmentally and agriculturally. And that the flavor and quality can be certified by you. All sounding very good. Vanya Martins told me that these two guides were created in different projects, but they're under the same umbrella in that Loco has a long history with the implementation of sustainable food systems. So there you go. What they're doing there, and it's a great idea, is it not, is encouraging people to grow food locally and get the kids to eat it. Now, the second only to that as a good idea, I would suggest, is get the kids growing the food as well. Wouldn't that be great? Did anyone here learn, unless you're a Steiner kid, you probably didn't learn how to grow food at school. And there's that superfood article that we covered before as well. So I'm liking the cut of the jib of this article. And thank you very much to, who have we got here? Christina de Costa Brooks. Sounds like a bit of Anglophile, Anglophilia going on there as well. Costa Brooks is a bit of a giveaway there, I think, in terms of the relationship there. There you go. If you want to, if you're interested in that and learn more Portuguese at the same time, get that Guia com Implementar Sistema Alimentar Local Cantinas from In Loco there down in the Algarve. I'm sure that all of that is very transferable to your favoured locality as well. Let's check in on a few of your comments. Did I miss anything earlier on? We have got Stephen Wright and George Carlin, of course, to quote today. Stephen Wright, if you tell a joke in the forest but nobody laughs, was it a joke? Very, very good. Bit of Zen comedy there. And George Carlin quote of the day, never approach a crying woman entering a sports bar carrying a harpoon gun. No. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, George Carlin, for that. Back to your live comments. In this live and lovely environment of ours, I'm working on trying to pronounce the cities in Portugal. Well, that's a great thing. I mean, did anyone understand what Filomena is going to get us to do tomorrow, everybody? Let's play that one more time.
Olá, bom dia, alegria. Amanhã vamos cantar Lá vai uma, lá vão duas, três pombinhas a voar. Ciao, até amanhã.
Yay, we're singing again tomorrow. Vamos a cantar. So, yes, we will be singing tomorrow on the Feel Good Friday edition of Good Morning Portugal. So join me and Philomene tomorrow for a bit of singing. I always love it. I love it. I'm not sure if you do. Yes, going back to the challenge on Lee there as he pulled up into, into his workplace. The Portuguese CCTV system, and he got busted with that, didn't he? And quite right too. I think we all quietly approved of that. Who are you? Very good. And Suze, yes, the packing is going well. Look, it turned from this and this into this, nicely taped up and ready to roll. What is that? Oh, it's a bird, isn't it? It's a bird lying flat. Things are looking very businesslike and ready to rumble there in Finland. Thank you very much for those pictures, Susan. Stick around in a little while for the wonderful picture from Anna as well. Quite incredible. Shipping companies for overseas ask if there are batteries in possessions. Remove batteries or label the box that it includes batteries for customs. Nice little tip there. Thank you very much for that. Right, I'm going to scroll back. Have we got a Faiza Dadia? In my younger, no, but we've got something about Chris being a younger person speaking Turkish. In my younger life, I learned to speak Turkish. Walking through the park, a group of lads started talking to me in Turkish. The shock on their faces when I replied to them in Turkish was priceless. That is very niche, very, very niche indeed. European shrubberies. I think it's safe to search for that, isn't it? Brazilian bushes must be trimmed often and close. OLP knows her onions. Too bad that youth is wasted on the young. Oh, Mark Twain there. And Stephen Wright, I bought a powered... hold on a minute, I'll start that again. Stephen Wright, I bought powdered water, but I don't know what I should add. Very good. Very good indeed. But we need more Portuguese humour on this show, don't we? I thought somebody was researching that. Can't leave it all to the prof. Perhaps when Lee has learned English, he could try... he could try Portuguese. That's a very British joke there. Thank you very much for that, prof. Taking it on the chin as a southerner there and giving it back full square. Shipping companies. Oh, yeah, the battery comment there. So, yes, I wonder what is it that you that not you, Sue, specifically, but what the highest household items are battery powered? Or maybe I should just mind my own business. I only understood we'll be singing tomorrow. That's all you need to know. Turn up tomorrow and all the rest will be provided. We'll have some fun tomorrow with Philomena. We always do, don't we? Anyone have a virtual Portuguese number on their mobile so that they can get calls while not in Portugal? Technicians and delivery staff don't like calling international numbers. Another great tip about living life here. Base Orbit, we produce about 250 kilograms per season of produce vegetables using vertical gardening. What? We need to learn about this. In a 7 by 3 meter area in our backyard, all organic with only occasional rain using compost and wood chips. Well, Base Orbit, please, can we have some pictures? Can we talk to you about doing that? Me and Mrs. M, at the very least, want to have you over for dinner to chat about this, and we'll show you. We got something similar, not as big as that, but we are producing quite a lot of food. Well, we're going to be. It's all growing along very nicely at the moment. More about that on a Monday evening. But Base Orbit, Swara, please come over for dinner and bring... No, you won't be able to bring some of that produce with you, but come and have some of ours. What is this? Webcams, chat, hot girls and boys video. Oh, is that this in capitals? It could be the man cave. Dealing with companies like Mayo, they need a Portuguese number. So can we help with that? A virtual I'm sure that's doable. A virtual Portuguese number. Anyone hacking that and doing that, please help Capricorn Chris out with that. Laptops, mobile. Oh, okay, that's what the batteries are in. Not just me, though, I'm thinking there, asking that question. Teflon vintage folks think alike and stick together. Well, hey, very good. And defo, not me. Don't know what that means. No, that's not the man cave doing that. We're going to have to bar that person, aren't they? How rude coming in here with their nastiness and naughtiness with their webcams there. Hope that doesn't come up on my search history. I know I've missed out some earlier comments, and you do as well, probably, if you've written them and wondering why I haven't read them out. Okay, folks, I need to go into town before the dreaded 2-hour closing hours. Not dreaded if you're working in the shop, right? You can only waste so much time in Pingo. Ate Amanya, don't correct me, that's Gallego for tomorrow. Very good, a bit of Gallego in there this morning. And let's go then. And finally, here on Moving to Portugal Thursday, we are going to take a look at the weird section, as if we weren't weird enough already. And I want to share with you drought revealing underwater ghost towns. Talking of the drought from before, let's have a look at this. Well, there are a few stories, articles here on this weird section. And what is this? Look at this? Veja como cura a prostatitis. I thought that was something to do with prostitutes. I'm very glad to see that it's not, and that it's probably prostate. But why is that man kneeling on a very plump duvet? I wonder. And I think a Portuguese friend might be able to help with that, and maybe will advise me to take that advertising down. Someone else being, oh dear. I'm going to scroll past that very quickly. Darn it, Google Ads, will you? Okay, I'm going to just take that off so that's not too distressing for anyone, including myself this morning. Portugal is going through one of the most complicated drought periods on record. The water level, concentrate, Carl, the water level in the dams has dropped at a rapid rate, revealing the once flooded villages and towns. Look at this picture. Quite extraordinary. If I click on that, oh yeah, you get a nice close-up there. So the water level is sufficiently down to be advertising on Idealista, a doer-upper. Look at that. Some scurrilous realty agent might say, look, you can have this for... It's got a really... it's very handy for the water, for water sports. And it's got its own great big pool next to it. Liquor paint, and that'll be perfect. I don't know, 30K? What do you think? But that's quite incredible. Look at the stonework on that. Absolutely beautiful construction. And that must have been an awful day when this happens all over the world, doesn't it? That villages get flooded to make reservoirs. But there, in drought-ridden Portugal currently, you get to see what goes on beneath. Construction of dams, in some cases, implies the submersion. Hold on, let me just get rid of that as well. It implies the submersion of village. Is that really what happens, what you just saw in that advert? The construction of dams, in some cases, implies a submersion of villages, and Portugal carried out these works in some localities of the country. In the inhabited areas, villages were rebuilt or housing was offered to those whose properties were submerged in the creating of the dams. Currently, due to the effects of the severe drought that the country has been going through, some of these villages are emerging or re-emerging. So let me go through them, and you can go and see these if you wish to. At Vilar de Amoreira, located in the district of Coimbra. The dam located in the parish of Portela do Forjo in Pampilhosa da Serra, what a lovely part of the world, is one of the largest dams in Portugal. Vilar de Amoreira was the village that disappeared. Oh, no wonder. I mean, there must be amazing pictures of the village when it was full swing. Village life there. So Vilar de Amoreira was the village that disappeared with the construction of the dam. Submerged by the river Zezer, the ruins of a village that has been underwater since 1954. Whenever the water level drops, it can be seen. So 1954. In 1971, Vilarinho da Forna was flooded in the Peneda Gerês National Park up there near Rebel Mama. The village was inhabited by about 300 people who had to move to neighbouring towns. Nostalgia is felt by many whenever the waters recede, as they remember the village as it was originally built, with granite dwellings characteristic of the region. That's a Vilarinho da Forna. Another advert. Go away. The drought has also affected some. The pressure's intense, isn't it, to go and get a rectal examination this morning? The drought has also affected some localities in Spain, namely in the region of Galicia. And we've had some Gallego this morning. Nice one, Rebel Mama. The Lindoso Dam began receiving water in 1992, flooding 5 villages in the area. Now, the extreme drought has meant that the dam has only 20% of its full capacity, revealing the old dwellings. So that'll be pretty amazing up there. I mean, it's a lovely trip to go up to the Peneda Gerês National Park anyway. And you can see that at the moment. The 1971 flooded village of Vilarinho da Forna. Localities are now exposed, and people have been heading to the dams, which are now practically empty, to visit the places that are described as ghostly. In some places, the authorities are banning visits due to the lack of security that some areas may present. And that's just going to be a green light for some people, isn't it? Stay away. Ooh, that sounds interesting. And a couple of comments. We do like to read the comments in the Portugal news. Some of these people can be quite irritable. It's like they need a bit of an examination as well. So irritability syndrome sometimes here. Let's see if it's true today. It's a very sad reality. Climate change is real. While some places are underwater right now, like in Queensland and New South Wales in Australia, others are on extreme drought. And yes, we can still revert this. We can do this, says Mario. Climate change is natural. We are technically in an... Oh, we go. Never long, is it? Climate change is natural. We are technically in an ice age. What? The Pleistocene ice age lasted until around 11,000 years ago. Nothing in geological times. Okay, so that's nothing in geological time. And we are slowly emerging from an ice age. It's not reversible by man and will eventually run its course. And then the cycle will start again. Stop the hysteria over this, says Ian. Oh, I think he's quite a regular commentator, right? There isn't global warming, just climate change, taxes. To charge us, the little people, for something we have no control over. The earth is changing and always will be. And yes, we are still in the ice age indeed. There you go. Nice little bit of commentary there on the Portugal news. And I was saying this to Mrs. M last night. The thing about news, social media, and information at the moment, like, you can find an opinion about everything. It's like everything is true and false at the moment, isn't it? That to me struck me as a characteristic of the age we live in. Everything is true and false, depending on where you look. So something's not quite right here, and I think it's the context, not the content. Climate tax is BS. See, and it doesn't take long for people to start responding in this way. Targeted ads. No, it's not. Just another gouge. Okay, let's not go to the dark side, people. Let's not go to the dark side, because Antonio F, Joao F are here this morning. I don't know if I said hello to you, two fine gentlemen. I trust science, says Banana Slug. And I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, because then I would be myself slipping into that, that whatever phenomenon where everything is true and everything is false. If you just keep following the information around the place. So what in the end, my friends, and I'll leave this with you in the closing moments, what in the end does it come down to that is the ultimate arbiter as to the veracity? I'm sounding like Russell Brand now, aren't I? The veracity, my friends, of the information that you're receiving on this internet. Climate tax. Oh, okay, easy, folks. Easy, folks. Let's not go there. I like the Portugal news. It helps. I know I started it. I like the Portugal news. It helps people outside of Portugal to learn about Portugal. My preference is the Portugal resident, I have to say. And I've really enjoyed Natasha Don's coverage over these last couple of years. Well done, Natasha. I don't suppose you'll be getting any awards with the cut of your particular publishing jib, but you have my great admiration and respect for what you've done over this last couple of years. There it is, on record in the public. Philomena Friday tomorrow, a feel-good Friday tomorrow. Tax won't fix problems. Did it ever? I wonder. Faija Dia is Tyron Davis in the mood. And this is a super slow jam this morning to get in that Anglophilia mood, if should you need it this morning. Portugal resident, +1. Is that a rating? Oh, yes, and T-Duck. Then finally, it will be our last Bubble Off Centre show together. The storm rousing us ravel again. Didn't mean to. I'll just leave that there and walk away now with 1 minute to go, Michelle. Well spotted. So tomorrow will be our last Bubble Off Centre at the 10:30 time. We don't have enough time on a Friday morning to do all we want to do. We think that the format and the positioning will be better suited to an evening. So next Monday from 7:30 in the evening, Bubble Off Centre, you see it there, changes from its 10:30 time. And it'll be a little bit of a test tomorrow because we're going to be streaming on Mixcloud. We're not going to be doing it on YouTube because we can't play music on YouTube without getting ourselves into some trouble. So we will be like a radio show, folks. Me and T-Duck, you'll be able to watch us while we're broadcasting, and then it will be a podcast available on Mixcloud thereafter. But in 3 words, which is the way things are done these days, you know, like, what was it? I can't even remember them now, even though I was thoroughly brainwashed by them all. They've gone into my subconscious. You know, the 3-part slogan. The 3-part slogan, T-Duck, correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be music, memes, and mirth. Hashtag music, hashtag memes, hashtag mirth. Lighthearted, off-centre, Bubble Off Centre, as you might expect. And we can take all these eggy sensibilities and flare-ups and trigger alerts to the Bubble Off Centre radio show, which will start at 7:30 next Monday evening. I'll tell you again on Monday, and we'll have the links for that. But not on YouTube, folks. You're going to have to go off-piste into Mixcloud territory, where we used to do the Man Cave discos, for some of you who might remember that. So we can play music, and won't that be a joy to share music with you and have a proper radio show? Really looking forward to that. 2 hours of music, memes, and mirth on a Monday. It's going to be a happy Monday. Mirth, we're all jesters. Oh, yeah, love me memes. Yes, we're looking for the ultimate meme that will settle all of this once and for all. I think I've got it, actually. I think the last picture you're going to see today, that sounds really ominous. The last picture you're going to see on the Good Morning Portugal live stream today, I think I should point that out. Oh, and Trivia 2, but that doesn't begin with M. Oh, no. But yes, Trivia 2 in our new 2-hour radio show. Looking forward to that with the T-Duck. And fondling of the like button will be involved as well. But do that this morning. Leica is here. Oh, we're getting some love from Kimberly Fahy as well. I don't see the likes on YouTube. I think what I see on my screen here. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Leica. And thank you, Kimberly. I think those are the Facebook likes and loves that I get there on my screen. So Trivia 2, to love. Excellent. Rumi. We do like a bit of Rumi, don't we? Let's ruminate with Rumi. Love is human. To love is human. To feel pain is human. Yet to still love despite the pain is pure angel. And this picture you're going to see has an angelic ring to it. Literally. Carl, thanks for a great show. It's my pleasure, OLP. I will say goodbye to you now and look forward to having some fun with you on Feel Good Friday tomorrow on Philomena Friday. And watch out, folks. At the end of the titles here, you're going to see a most beautiful picture from Anna Olsen. down there in Villarreal de Santa Antonio. I've got to look up. It kept coming up yesterday, Santa Antonio. So I must go look that up. I will see you tomorrow. Ciao for now.